Hi and welcome back to my channel, A Year in Books with Zoe. I am of course Zoe, and I am going to be talking about two books that I just finished this month, as well as what I'm doing, what kind of medium I'm consuming, all that. So I finished Sharp Objects by Gillian, Flynn, and A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson this month so far. So Sharp Objects I really enjoyed. I had already read Gone Girl, which I think is probably the most well-known of Flynn's books, and then I had also read Dark Places, all of which I've listened to on audiobook because I love a thriller on audiobook. Give me all the audiobook thrillers. Sharp Objects is a really interesting one, probably by far my favorite. I really enjoy how Flynn creates these complex female characters, and I think that she was really able to showcase them in this book because she has three main female characters for us to kind of look at. And so the book follows Camille, who returns from Chicago to her hometown to do an investigative story on the death of a little girl and then the disappearance of another, to kind of save her journalism career. And you know, she's kind of forced to stay at home with her mother, who she does not have a good relationship with, and interact with her little sister, who she is much older than and doesn't really know. And so, you know, it gets complicated, of course, and she's kind of like reliving some of her own trauma, delving into her past, which is super fascinating. Camille is a really interesting character. She has, like I said, a lot of trauma, which has like manifested itself differently in her. She has some like self-harming tendencies, and she, I don't know, but she's really interesting. She's really dedicated to her craft as a journalist. She will really do anything to get her story, which is also very interesting. She's very inquisitive, she's very smart. And then we have her mother, who is kind of this perfect image of a Southern woman, but she doesn't really like Camille, which kind of clashes with that like Southern woman, Southern mom vibe. And then of course there's Camille's little sister Emma, who is kind of like the perfect little daughter at home, but terrorizes the town outside of that. And we kind of see as a relationship is building between Camille and Emma. And Emma is kind of revealing things about her mother to Camille. And things are just kind of starting to unravel for them. It was a really good book. I loved the character building. I think the story was great. The setting of this small town, perfect. I love small town settings. I mean, I would consider myself a small town girl, so it's like what I know best. Anyways, it's really good. I will say that with this one, I was a little bit more able to anticipate what the twist was and kind of like figure things out a little bit more than I was with Gone Girl and Dark Places, but it's still my favorite because I just really enjoyed the story. I really loved the characters. I enjoyed it. I was definitely on the edge of my seat, nervous, heart beating for this one, so it's definitely a good thriller for me. If I'm reading a thriller, if I'm reading a mystery, I want to have heart palpitations. I want my watch to be going off, telling me like, hey, you're sitting down, you're just doing laundry, whatever. Why is your heart at 150 beats per minute? And then I'll be like, mind your business. Anyways, it's really good, so if you have a chance to check it out, I recommend it. Like I said, it is an audiobook. I think the narration is really good. So I would recommend checking that out if you like audiobooks. Of course, you can get it as like a regular physical book, ebook as well. It is also a limited series on HBO Max, so you can check it out there if you are interested in it but are not a big reader. But you should read if you can, so I'll say that. But if you are headed over to HBO Max, I would check out The Last of Us. That's what I've been watching. I really like it. It's super interesting. It gets my brain turning, twisting. It gets me stressed. I don't know why. As we can tell based on what I just said, I enjoy stressful media. I don't know why. That's just who I am. Other than The Last of Us, I'm also watching Poker Face and Yellowstone. Yellowstone I love. Cowboys, horses. And Give It All to Me. Drama, yes, thank you. And then Poker Face I really enjoy. It has Natasha Lyonne, who I adore, and she's just getting into all kinds of shenanigans as she tries to solve all these crimes and butts her nose into things that maybe aren't her business. So those are good. I would totally recommend checking them out. Let's see. I've been writing a lot. I'm working on a romance book, and I'm kind of practicing the 5 minutes a day of writing advice that I got from Tracy Wolf at a book signing. I mean, she gave the advice to everybody, but I took it to heart. And so that's coming along pretty well, I would say. I am working on a poetry book, which I think I might have mentioned in a previous video, but maybe not. I just have to illustrate it, and I haven't gotten around to it. I feel like maybe I'm holding myself back because I'm a little bit nervous to put it out there because it is pretty personal. But eventually I'll get to it, and I'll update y'all when I get that out there. Maybe do some readings for you. I am also writing lots of songs. I really enjoy playing the guitar. I'm learning slowly by practicing every day, 10 minutes at least, and then kind of writing music, which I really enjoy. It's a big passion of mine. I've been doing it since I was really young, and some of my songs have been so good lately. I definitely don't have like the ability to put anything out there yet, or maybe ever, but it is something that I really enjoy doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing schoolwork. I am in grad school, if you didn't know, doing library science. So I've been doing all of the library science. Lots of metadata, lots of organization, surprisingly lots of coding, which I'm actually pretty good at and I actually enjoy, which is also a surprise. But that's what I have going on in my life. But let's move on to the next book I read, A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson. This book, well, first of all, look how cute this cover is. Look at all the little like onions and beets and shallot. Maybe those are no, I think those are onions. They could be onions, they could be shallots. I don't know. And our two leading gentlemen. This book is really cute. It follows Xavier, who is a Black gay man who worked really hard to get out of his small town and went to business school for both undergrad and grad school and did all this work. And it kind of all falls apart and he has to go home. And then that's where the book starts. And he's trying to figure that out. And then, of course, we meet Logan, who is this ruggedly handsome chef who moved in during the time that Xavier was gone. And they get off on the wrong foot to begin with. Like, they kind of clash. But Xavier's mom kind of pushes him to go try to get a job at Logan's restaurant, which, you know, he eventually does. And they start kind of warming up to each other. It is a Berkeley romance, so of course there is romance, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was very sweet. There is adult content in this. I would say that although there isn't a ton of adult content, the content that is there is pretty spicy and descriptive, so this is definitely not a book for children, and if you're not into that kind of content, maybe skip this book or just skip over the content when you find it in here. I really enjoyed this book. I love the writing. I think Xavier is a really relatable character, especially as someone who graduated college and is living back at home with their parents. I think he's really funny. He's really witty. I really like the dynamic between him and Logan. I really enjoyed this book. I think it's very cute, and interesting. It's definitely chef's kiss, pun definitely intended, and I just really enjoyed it. Jackson also has another book, I'm Not So Over It. It's in the back of here. I'm Not So Over You, which I read like the first couple of pages in because there's a sample of it in the back of this, and it looks really good, so I will probably be reading that sometime soon, when I download it on my Kindle, when I get to all the other things that I have to read. But it's really good. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a kind of funny, cute, but also like interesting, thoughtful gay romance. I would definitely check this out. I really like that there's kind of character development and self-growth that's included in here. There's displays of really good friendship. So there's lots of stuff going on. Like, it's not just about that. So I would definitely check it out if you're interested in that. It's very good. Oh, that just made me think. I forgot to mention possible content warnings for sharp objects. I would say there's not a ton for A Dash of Salt and Pepper. I always recommend looking into it. I like using StoryGraph to look at content warnings because other readers provide a lot of them, but Sharp Objects has quite a few because it's pretty dark material. I would say self-harm, death of a child, descriptions of like murder type stuff, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, sexual content. There's a lot going on in that, so I would definitely check out content warnings for that. But yeah, both books I really enjoyed. I would really recommend that you check them out. Obviously, they're very different from each other, but I feel like it kind of gives you a little bit for everybody, maybe. Anyways, right now I'm listening to Radium Girls on Audible. After I finished Sharp Objects, I was kind of looking for something to read next, and my mother has so many audiobooks because she's an audiobook fiend. And I found it in there and I've been wanting to read it, so I've been listening to that. So far it's pretty good, pretty interesting. I am kind of a history nerd, so it's right up my alley. And then I'm going to start a book soon, The Banned Bookshop of Maggie Banks, I think it's called. Not 100% sure. It is orange, not that that's super helpful. But that's what I'll be reading soon, and I'll update y'all when I finish with that. As always, I appreciate y'all sitting here listening to me talk about books, which is like my favorite thing to do. I hope that you're reading good stuff. I hope that you're consuming good media. If you have book recommendations, let me know. If you have TV show, movie, music recommendations, let me know. If you know of good audiobooks, good thriller audiobooks, let me know. But other than that, I will see y'all next week. And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great week until we see each other again. And that's all.